Hey guys, weekly update video. We'll take a look at the market. I won't really go into deep context with Bitcoin because I made a whole entire video about it. Um, so jumping right into it again, um, Bitcoin's still in this range, right? I told you guys not to short Bitcoin. I think I made the video on Saturday or Friday. Don't remember, but unless we lost the trend line. We never lost this trend line. We didn't turn it into resistance. We bounced from support. We were consolidating on support. And like I said, support is support until broken, right? So that, was a long opportunity if you guys wanted to long. Now we are at a um, intersection where if price is to reject, it would be around here, okay? So the range highs of this range of the setup that I gave would be around 109.8 or 110K region. Now, if you guys don't follow me on Twitter, I actually posted these thoughts on Discord as well. But basically, um, whenever there has been, destructive news about war or whatever, we do get that initial sell-off, right? So we dumped from 110 down to 102, but that was your buying opportunity. Retaliation did occur, right? We had a move up, retaliation did occur, we went back down, but this wasn't strong enough to push us below 100K. So what is going to push us below 100K, right? That's the question that you have to ask yourself. So, in my opinion, dips are for buying, especially Bitcoin. Bitcoin, as long as 100K level is held, we should continue to go higher. But for now, I think that that was it for the dip. If more destructive news comes out, then yes, you can continue to long the bottom, but I don't believe in shorting the market currently. Now the next event that we currently have is FOMC on Wednesday. We do have a US holiday with Juneteenth on Thursday. So keep that in mind, but if we are to reject, it's going to have to be some news from FOMC. And if we do get a move down on FOMC, that is a move that, in my opinion, should be bought, right? So, with the video that I made on Saturday, so the swing high to the swing low, we currently are at the golden pocket, so this should offer rejection. The next area of interest would be the 786 fib, but for me, what I'm looking to short, I'm looking to short the range highs. However, this one could actually continue to go into all-time highs again. The only reason for that is because we've had so many rejections from this resistance level, all right? There was the first one, deviation, right? Second, third, fourth, fifth, sixth, seventh. So it's getting weaker and weaker. If you do take this range high short, it should be with a smaller position size. All right, because this will most likely get stopped out, but a range is a range until broken. Now, in the event that we do reject, you're not going to, if you get this move, if you get a 1 hour trade and you're not taking profits because you're looking at my box that goes all the way down here, there's no guarantee that we go down that far. So you have to be, the decision maker of your own profit taking. And, usually a 1 hour trade is where you want to secure profits or at least move stops to break even. So a rejection down to 107.5-ish or whatever would be a 1 hour trade. And then you make your own decisions from that point on. Let me go to a clean Bitcoin chart really quickly. But before I do that, let's talk about Bitcoin dominance. So Bitcoin dominance is starting to look pretty bullish, right? We have clear resistance here on the weekly around 65%. And yes, we made this rejection and move down, right? But on this way up, we can clearly see that Bitcoin price is grinding higher and higher, where alts are just staying relatively stable. So in the event that we get a move down on Bitcoin dominance, right, alts should fly. If Bitcoin price can stay stable, meaning within a tight range, and dominance falls, then alts will go up. If Bitcoin price dumps and dominance dumps, right, price will go up. But if this continues to be bullish and we don't reject here with a lower high, and this continues to consolidate and go higher with Bitcoin price going much higher, it doesn't mean that alts are going to nuke. But if Bitcoin price dumps and dominance goes higher, then alts are going to get absolutely destroyed. So, um, if you are positioning in alts right now, like, I mean, you can take a look at SUI, right? SUI really hasn't moved when Bitcoin price went from 104 to 108K. This only went up like 2%, 3% on the day, right? There are strong coins and outliers like Sol and Hype that we'll talk about, but you want to focus on the strong coins, and those strong coins are ETH, Sol, and Hype, and those are the the pullbacks that you want to buy. So if dominance, rejects from here, alts are going to continue going up, but just keep in mind FOMC is coming on Wednesday, and I don't expect rate cuts. There's no way we're gonna get rate cuts in June. Um, if we do get it, it'll be September's meeting, but we could have some fuckery going into FOMC. So just be careful. And again, in my opinion, dips are for buying. And I will regurgitate this one more time. If your shitcoins haven't pumped from the recent lows they just put in, right, then they're absolutely done for. You don't want to hear that, but I'm the person that's always going to tell you the truth. So do with that information whatever you want to do. So back to Bitcoin really quickly. All right. This daily looks bullish as fuck. All right, and I don't understand why people are wanting to short. It makes no sense to short for 1% moves. It's better to just long pullbacks. And, where are we possibly going to pull back? Well, a very if we accept if we can stay above this line, and this is something that I think I mentioned in the servers or my last video, but we had to get above this line here, this 106.7. I put it as 106.5, but acceptance above this level, I said we will go higher. Well, we went up, we actually flipped it to support on the 4 hour, we accepted above, and we are going higher. Like I said, the 786 fib lies around this 109.26. So in the event that we go into this order block, then this is a potential area where you want to take a scalp short, whereas the range high short comes a little bit higher. All right, so quickly draw the fibs here. All right, and if we honestly hold here, I'll draw it out for you guys. If we are able to flip this blue line, okay, resistance, we flipped it to support, we held it, we lost it, turned to resistance. If we are able to reclaim and flip this similar to what we did down here, we will go to all-time highs, no question. All right, so I expect some turbulence and trouble around this area. That's why like taking a short for a hedge makes sense. But right now, in my opinion, it's the Bitcoin show. We have established support at 106.7K. If we get a pullback there, that's for buying. But in the event that we get a deeper pullback, I honestly really love this this order block here, right? And that's where I would set up some bids. Okay, and you just play the range over and over again, very tight. And then obviously, if you guys watch my video, back down to range low levels. Okay, back down to range low levels, that is where you want to buy. So 102 to 100 is the sweet buying point for Bitcoin. All right, let's take a look at ETH. ETH in this range here. It's cleaner on the 4-hour. And if you guys have been talking, or not talking, if you guys have been watching me talk about these range setups and how to play them, I even made a video on YouTube a couple of months ago about how to play a range, right? Rejection, 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 broke out, deviated back under, turned into resistance. That was your short setup. We came back down into a demand zone held, and now we're going higher. But here was a clean range play again, right? So there's your range. We are getting to resistance, so we do have resistance here around 2670-ish. Now, if I were looking for shorts, I'd be looking to short back at the range highs. So something like this. Okay, and you play the range over and over again. Again, profit taking is up on you guys to figure out where you want to take profits. I'm not going to handhold you there. But this is where, I mean, you have a lot of confluence here for the short, right? So entry, DCA at the 786 fib, which is also a 4-hour bearish order block, and you go from there, right? But be careful, again, shorting against the trend. The trend has been up. You can even draw a trend line here. We did not lose the trend line. Similar to Bitcoin, we never lost that trend line. We actually bounced right on it. Again, bounced right on it. So playing against the trend, you should look to short with a smaller position size. All right. Yeah, it's getting close to that area to possibly short. And this is the important level that I was talking about. I know you guys are going to be watching this, and price has already reacted from this or broken up from this, but just keep this in mind. Acceptance above this level looks good for continuation. Okay, and in the event that we get a deeper pullback, honestly, this little accumulation here is a very good buying opportunity. Lose the range lows, we see this $2,100 level that I spoke about prior, but if we are able to get a pullback into this area and hold, this could be a very nice region to get a long in as well. All right. I would love a wick into this accumulation area and then, target much higher. I would love that. But, for this to drop $100, Bitcoin would have to drop like 2K, which would send us back into that 106.5K region. All right. Sol, another strong one. It looks like it wants to break out. Okay, you have a bull flag forming here. Here is the mistake that everyone makes, and I pointed out this multiple times. Everyone sees this as a head and shoulders. They start to short down here only for price to completely, violate them and, break out. So if you are looking for head and shoulders, you want the neckline to break below and turn into resistance before you take a short. This was an easy bait, right? Now, yes, there's a head and shoulders still, but the neckline hasn't been broken, so don't be an idiot and try to short without confirmation. Now, like I said, we have a bull flag here, more like a channel, and price looks like it wants to break out. Okay, so we are at resistance, very clean resistance. If we are to reject, it would be from here. But if you are looking for a confirmation play, like I said, Bitcoin dominance is at a very tricky point. Bitcoin is grinding higher as well. A breakout and retest, then this would be your confirmation play. Okay. Okay. Now that's a deep stop. You can have a tighter stop if this level is flipped to support. It would be that. We do have supply here. So getting into this 188 to 190 range is a good short opportunity. We already rejected once from it. So this is resistance. And this is a strong supply zone. Okay. And in the event that we get a deeper pullback, just like everything else, let's go to the 12-hour. Like I said, I like this chart a lot. Let me see something. That SR flip was the perfect long opportunity. But it's also an untapped order block on the daily. So in the event that we get a deeper pullback, and these could take some time, right? My, confirmations or pullbacks don't happen within hours or days or whatever. It could take weeks for stuff to play out. But these would be the potential setups for Sol, right? So you have the confirmation on the breakout and flip with tight stops. If we reject from here and get a deeper retrace, around 149 would be your entry, and shorts up there. Yes, you have opportunities to short within here. You have this order block, so a possible short scalp can be taken. Like I said, taking charts and dissecting them time frame by time frame will give you a lot of opportunities, right? I'm personally, my short button is disabled. I'd rather long pullbacks. I'm not horny to get 1% moves on down moves like this, but there are people that like to take risks. So up to you guys. You guys can decide what you guys want to do, right? So that's it for Sol. That's my Sol breakdown. Now, this is one of the charts that I shared on Twitter, and I said, we were actually over here when I pointed this out. I know some of you guys in the servers that I'm in took it because that's new. Oh yeah, this is actually cool because then you don't have grifters uh, posting shit and saying that they're long or whatever before it happens, and then people like Brandon Hong and garbage ass people that use replay and demo trade. I know there's a lot of you in the servers that I work with that demo trade, so very good on TradingView to put this watermark. So this is what I posted on Twitter, and there was a bull flag, a clean retest of this neckline here. This is not a cup and handle. The handle falls below that 40% or 50% mark of the cup, but this was a inverse head and shoulders. The inverse head and shoulders, perfect neckline touch there, right? Clean setup. I've shared this multiple times on playing the retest. Let's go ahead and break through. And the target is met almost perfectly. All right. So I think this goes much higher. It is in price discovery. And this is another mistake that people make. They like to short stuff that's in price discovery. It's better to just long pullbacks. And honestly, Hype is one of those coins that has been super volatile. Like it has crazy wicks, right? Now this is a perp chart on the worst exchange, MEXC. But if I were to go to it was a spot chart on MEXC. Let's go to here. Two perfect plays that I gave in one of my streams that I had. But let's take a look, right? So we had this breakout that just happened. If we get a retrace into that retest, that's where I'd be looking. You have a breaker block here. So a good opportunity to possibly long there. Let's assume that this is the highest point and we're not getting a deeper one. So the golden pocket lines perfectly with 40. If we get a move, honestly, from $40 to $35, that is a good area to possibly stack up on spot. But you have this order block here. One sec. Let me take a look at this. Yeah, I honestly would like this retest, right, for higher. But you also have to take a look at this and ask yourself, where is it possibly going to top? Okay, you have a little rising channel here. If we are to reject, it would be from this point. I mean, we can possibly draw some extension fibs. You can draw it from this point to that point. Golden pocket lies within that $50 sweet spot. It's also psychological, so it makes sense to reject from there. We rejected about from the 0.5. Okay, um, there was a bearish div with price going up there. It rejected. Okay, it could reject from here, putting another lower high. Right, so we possibly could have another potential bearish div here. So a retrace here does make sense, but if it doesn't, then if you're looking for shorts, then this golden pocket would be the best place to short. However, keep that in mind. This isn't price discovery. These wicks are absolutely nuts. If we do get a move into there, this is the psychological level for it to reject from. So a good opportunity for it to get there. Anything around 40 down to this 38 region would be a good long opportunity. Right? I know price is moving a lot in all these coins, and you just have to watch this as it happens later, I guess. And the last coin, Sui, again looks very good. Hit hard, from the highs. It had like a 35% dip about. These numbers, I'm literally pulling out my ass. I'm surprised that I actually got this, but look, for those people that spend time and are able to understand TA, that was a perfect long opportunity on it yesterday, right? We swept the lows, go SFP'd, and now it's going higher. Now, also on potential breakout watch here. We had a fake breakout. See how we always wait for confirmation. There was no clean retest and it continued to go lower. There's your falling wedge. Technical targets upon breakout would send you back to this $4 region, which is clear resistance. Okay, these are technical targets. It doesn't mean it's going to hit. So again, on a clean breakout and retest, probably on the daily, that's where you're going to long. Now we can break this down on a lower time frame, right? If we get this retrace order block. Now, the stop loss placement on this one's a little tough because you have this deep wick, right? So be careful with that one. You can draw some fibs here. So possible shorts can be taken. I had this short originally. I canceled it. It was perfect. But potential shorts can be taken at the golden pocket in the 786 fib, so somewhere here. Your setup would look something around like that. If it does reject there, it could possibly put in another lower high there. And if we get a deep retrace, not a deep one, I mean, it's if it is to reject, it's going to reject from here. This move isn't significant from this order block to be very strong. So this one is going to be a very high risk setup, but this would most likely be your setup and most likely taken on spot. All right, because if this does reject either from here or from there, it's going to be another lower high. We haven't broken structure. We have to break above $3.50 for this to be a bullish market structure shift, and that hasn't happened yet. So until that happens, that's why I say taking shorts here is better than taking longs down here. All right, but this is still in a downtrend, and playing the downtrend long is what you have to have when you're, or what you have to reduce size if you're deciding to take this long. All right. So these are the only coins that I'm currently looking at. These have been the strongest ones in my opinion, minus Sui, Sol, Hype, ETH obviously had a nice rebound, and Bitcoin. I'm not really interested in anything else besides Fartcoin. We're already positioned in Fartcoin. It's a little bit of profit. Our average, as you can see, is around 2.83. Um, but this looks like it's gearing up for a cup and handle formation. Not a clean one because this falls below that 50% threshold of the cup. But if we can get above this $1.33, it's going to fly. And as Sol continues to fly, Sol ecosystem coins are going to completely do well as well. And I'm kind of bummed that I closed out Bonk, but I didn't like the chart and how it looked, and I'm not going to play defense. The chart didn't look great, so I didn't like it, and I closed it. And now Sol's running, and the Sol ecosystem gods are pointing fingers at me and laughing. But it is what it is. Fartcoin, I can see it do honestly a 25% move from here. If you guys want to buy, it's close to my average. If you guys are not in currently, then again, like I said, it's close to my average. For those that are in, hold it. I do think this goes much higher. It also has broken into a bullish structure shift, with this being the last lower high here. So we broke above, came back down into a higher low, and honestly, this could continue running from here. All right, so these are the only coins that I currently have my eyes on. And if I am to get into more plays, it will be given in the Discord and my channels only. All right, so these, if you guys do take them, it's up to you guys by yourselves. All right, so I will see you guys next week.